Well, this week, the news is dominated by Marvel. And I've done a separate video for Victoria Alonso, but nevertheless, the news is dominated with Marvel things not going very well over at Disney. We'll get into that. These things over at DC, well, they're looking all right. Not so much for Gotham Knights, but we've got the first pictures of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. So maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel with DC there, as well as James Gunn's announcements, but they're in a million years' time. So let's get into it. I already know that one person's happy because Star Wars is not in the news this week. Bonjour. Let's get straight into it with the let's start off with some good stuff. Lady Gaga filming in New York is properly underway for Joker 2, Folie à Deux, which is going to be a musical, which I don't think it's going to be a full-on musical. I think they're just using that. I think the hype machine's just in full swing with all that. But we've got the first pictures of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and it is in keeping. For me personally, this is just the news, so I'll get into it in another place, another time. But just quickly, she just looks like an aging punk. But it does suit the aesthetic of the Joker. I do think it's going to be a good film. I really enjoyed the first one. It's not my best Joker. I like the manic stuff. I like the mad exceptionalism of superhero storytelling. This is really grounded. She looks really grounded. She's just wearing a pair of tights and a top and a jacket, with some diamonds cutting it. So, yeah, is it groundbreaking? No, but this will probably be a good take. And we're not hearing any bad news coming off the set, are we? So, I really hope that is positivity plus. On the other side of the spectrum for DC is Gotham Knights on the CW. Episode 2 has dropped, and it had 428,000 viewers. So it dropped about 200,000 viewers from episode 1, and that was only 600,000 views. It is not going down very well. I'm not a big lover of Rotten Tomatoes and all those other kind of review sites, but I think they've all got agendas underneath. But it's just worthy to point out that the critics score is 18% on that. Audience score 53%, which is the lowest for any DC product ever. So looks like we won't be getting a season 2 of that. Across the street over at Marvel, though, we aren't getting a series 2 of Willow. Oh, and we are not getting the Indiana Jones TV series either. Cancelled. I think the Fleabag was going to be in Indy 5. It was going to be heavily on her, thanks to Kathleen Kennedy, and then over to her in a TV series as the new Indiana Jones. We all knew that. Was it confirmed? No, but we all knew that. Anyway, with these $5.5 billion worth of savings they've got to make, including $3 billion in content alone, it's gone. It's gone. And everything, all exclusive content on D Plus this week has been remarked, for want of a better term, has been rebranded as coming soon. So there are no dates on anything for Dismal Minus exclusive content. I know you've obviously got things in the can like Secret Invasion. I don't know what they're doing about the Agatha Harkness one. It's coming soon over all of it. They're obviously filming the Daredevil Born Again. Coming soon, which is of an indeterminate amount of time, isn't it? Which allows Iger to clean house, to clear house, which obviously started at the top with Victoria Alonso. I've done a separate video on that, but she is now suing Marvel. And the news has come out. The reason why she was actually fired, she was sacked because the original headlines were along the lines of stepping down and leaving or stepping aside. You know, all these very opaque ways of describing a departure from a corporation, from the top of a corporation. But according to Hollywood Reporter, she is suing Marvel. And from this, we've now heard from Marvel, because originally when it first happened, both parties were staying very silent. What Marvel is saying is without their permission, she went off and helped produce, it wasn't just her, she was part of a team, a film called Argentina 85. And apparently it was quite a subject close to her heart. I think she comes from that neck of the woods, or, you know, there was something about it that appealed to her. Didn't even ask any permission, just went off and done it. At the Oscars, when and it's contractually she's not allowed to do that. Contractually, she works for Disney. Obviously, contractually, you're not supposed to be making films for other people. Doesn't make sense. How she is suing Marvel, I do not know. That must be a technicality, unless she's just railing against it. You know, she has to make it. I would just say fair cop, and off I go. Make Argentina 85 and the sequel, and make sure the special effects are decent, love. But what I think the straw that broke the camel's back for Marvel, apparently, this is according to Hollywood Reporter, is when they was on the red carpet, when Dismal were on the red carpet doing Wakanda Forever for the Oscars ceremony, and they had the Wakanda Forever gang, whatever it was, she was over there promoting with the Argentina 85 gang. And she's president of post-production VFX for this film. So she's clearly chosen sides, and Disney thought, well, all right, go and work for them full time. Here's your P45. Anyway, so, you know, let's see what transpires there. A little while ago, we was having a discussion. I don't know if it was on my news with Space Lizard, or whether it was on the Hogcast, where we was discussing The Witcher, and the writer saying that Henry Cavill was annoying because he was so over enthusiastic, and me, I'll geekyOlhog pipes up and says, yeah, there's a guy called Bo Tommaso, that's DiMaio, that's working for X-Men, not working on X-Men 97 now, and he's insisting that he only wants people, creatives, that know, that are into it, because when he worked on The Witcher with this woman that said Cavill was over enthusiastic, they was openly mocking the source material, so he didn't want to be any part of that. And I was applauding it to the rafters. Now, that was last week. This week he's come out, and it's like, oh dear. He's done this online podcast thing or interview thing where he's saying he wants X-Men, an animated show of X-Men 97, yeah. He wants it to reflect modern issues. He didn't even say he wants it to, it will reflect modern issues. And he's also saying that the story will be informed by his experience as a gay black man. So, you know, like I said, like I have said, it's all right, Victoria Alonso going, but the people that are coming along and replacing her in all departments need to stamp all this out. And before everyone comes at me, I'm not talking about equality and diversity within the workplace and respect for all race, creeds and religions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about showrunners coming out ahead of the game with this kind of drivel. Because I would ask anyone what they watch the X-Men for. And I can tell you with a lot of confidence that it is not that it reflects the modern world we live in, and it is not something inspired by a gay black man. All that can be in it. Good storytellers, good creative people, whether you are gay, whether you're a woman, a man, it doesn't matter. All of that is irrelevant to telling a good story. It's got to be. And yeah, where he's saying his story is informed by that, okay, it might be meaning, let's balance this out a bit. It might mean that he's had a struggle in his life to get to where he is. Now that, come on, superhero struggling to get to where he needs to be. I mean, the X-Men, when they first come out, Stan Lee was very, it was obviously a way of describing the others in society. It was just a good allegory. It was there, but he did not make it what certain areas of the modern genre creatives want to make it, which is not use their imagination and basically make characters race swapped, gender swapped, queer, and they just can't tell a story to back it up. They just can't tell the stories to back it up. So yeah, if his his struggle with it, because obviously we do know, he's got double jeopardy there in any society, being black and gay, and I can appreciate that, and I do have gay friends, and they've regaled me with their stories of how they've what they've had to deal with. So I do appreciate all of this. So it might just be that feeling of oppression and that feeling of desperation, maybe, that he's saying he's going to inform some of the storytelling. So I will keep an eye on that, because it looks like it's going straight down the toilet, the same as all of this Marvel stuff at the moment. And the epitome of all that is wrong at Marvel has got to be Brie Larsen. Now Victoria Alonso's gone, it's got to be Brie Larsen. And the news this week is that now the Marvels is in the can, or when, I don't know if they've got many reshoots, or I think the reshoots are over now. But basically, she's out of a job. There's a whisper that she might be on Gears of War for Netflix, the video game adaptation. That's just a whisper at the moment. And I think if she was in the contention for it, she would be shouting about it. And I've just found it really interesting that she's out of a job, but now seems to not mind the male gaze that she was so overtly contemptuous of, and her narcissistic behaviour when Captain Marvel first came out, and basically all her Marvel co-stars, she was just getting on everyone's nerves. That's old news. The up-to-date news is the fact that she's done a Harper's Bizarre photo shoot. Very feminist of her to do it without a bra. And she did an interview on, I don't know who for, in the States. And yeah, she couldn't have been appealing to certain audience members any clearer. She wants a job. Oh, she really does want a job, doesn't she? And it's funny how attitudes change, isn't it? It's funny how attitudes change, and how you can have certain beliefs and things you won't do when the times are good, and when the times are bad, it is baps out for the lads, and it clearly is. No one can. What a hypocrite! Again, it's hypocrisy all round at Marvel. Hypocrisy all round. I'll go and do another film for another company. Oh, but you've sacked me. You can see why that kind of attitude, that kind of belief system is so prevalent in Marvel. Why it's not just on its knees, it's on its face now, isn't it? It's on its knees and then face down in the mud. Because of this, you can only call it toxic, and I know it's an overused word, but it is a toxic environment over there at Marvel. And some of the news that's seeping out is kind of only the rumour mill, which is why I'm just leaving it to the end. Is that, the VFX, which Victoria Alonso was head of, these VFX houses over there in Hollywood, are kind of breathing a sigh of relief that she's gone, because she has been, the word being used is toxic. She was a bully. and she wasn't any good to. So perhaps the Marvel VFX might start getting better, because there was again, they were saying that a lot of the Marvel reshoots or the Marvels twice delayed, was one was reshoots and two was bringing the VFX up to scratch because they had been rushed. Again, under Victoria Alonso's watch, a lot of these VFX have been shoddy because they're asking too few people to do too many effects too quickly. Doesn't work. So anyway, that's all the news. Basically, Marvel in a bit of bother. And, well, I'll let everyone chew on that. Please give me a like if you have enjoyed it. Give me a subscribe if you're really, if you're really feeling strongly that you're loving me to bits. It really does help. Us creators down here in the shadows really don't get a lot of help from YouTube. So anything you can do, a little like, a subscribe and a comment, it just helps that algorithm pick something up and throw us into the light a little bit more. So I really would appreciate it. And on that note, I'll bid everyone adios.